Hey guys, thanks for coming to the shop today. This is Tom with The Item Shop. Today I'm making kind of an interesting item. It's a plaque featuring Steelix and Onix, but I'm making it for another person on YouTube. He goes by the name of COOP'S Collection, one of the two. Sorry, I should probably know that. But anyway, he's a Pokemon TCG vendor, and he does some really nice, wholesome things on his videos, especially with like families and kids and such. And I really do think he's a really great role model and very nice guy in general. So I just wanted to show my appreciation for his content by, taking a stab at making him something that he can have instead of always giving away stuff. So anyway, please enjoy. So starting off, I got this piece of maple. It was originally part of a panel setup we were doing. That's why it's got that weird raised edge there. But I picked it because it had that cool knot in the top left corner. And I just thought it looked cool. But anyway, I'm going to show you here. This is what we're going to cut off first. And this other end has still got paint on it from the mill. So obviously we got to get rid of that. So this saw is one that can kind of get a little squirrely. It's called a pole saw, and I don't like to cut long, thin strips kind of like this panel is. So instead of doing it all in one cut, I'm going to flip it and do most of the cut and then just a little bit. It has a tendency to not kick back nearly as much. So when you do that sort of a cut, and you do like two directions, usually you have a little bit of a lip. And so that's what we're doing here on the edge sander, is just cleaning up the edges and making sure that they're totally flat, there's no lips or ledges. And as a bonus, it just becomes insanely smooth because it's the end grain on a hard piece of maple. Here I'm just giving it a once over with some 120, just kind of knocking down any mill marks or anything that may be on it. Alright, so I've got the board sanded, and my goodness, that feels like glass, which is cool and all. But, I don't know if it's going to stay that way. I mean, I don't know. We're just going to, I sanded it for now. We still got to CNC it, so hopefully we get a good finish on it. I was just eyeballing this too. I don't know if you can tell. A little bit of a bow in it. So, this being the face, when it's on the CNC, the middle is going to be a little bit high, which, I mean, there's nothing much to do about it now, so it is what it is. All that means is it's going to cut just a little bit deeper than I am anticipating in the middle, but for this project it's not really going to matter. But, so you saw me cut earlier to take that paint off that edge. Now, if I can get it in focus, there's a little bit of green paint on this knot texture, and I want to get that off of there. So to do that, I'm using this handy dandy Dremel, and notice I didn't say it was my Dremel because my friend Cody let me borrow this years ago, and I've never returned it. I've tried to before. He was like, if you're using it, just keep borrowing it. So Cody, if you're watching, thanks bud, appreciate it, using it again. But it has this wire wheel on it, and I'm hoping that'll kind of take the paint off without removing too much of the knot itself, but we will see. Alright, if you can see here, it worked pretty well, really. there's not much green left at all. So I'm pretty happy with that the way that turned out. I ended up using the sorry, I'm moving this all over the place, but trust me, this little ball cutter, whatever they're called, sounds terrible. It yeah, it did really well because there was a couple of spots really deep in there, and I just used that to get it out, and it worked out really well. So. Alrighty, here it is right off the CNC. Looks pretty good. It looks like we have a little bit of a ledge going around most of it. Not entirely sure what caused that, but once we get the paint in here, you'll never notice it, so I don't think Cooper will care. I certainly won't. But yeah, there we go. Not bad. So it turns out I was wrong. As soon as you put that paint on there, it really just accentuates all the small errors where the CNC was cutting. Which, you know, if I'm holding it and I'm looking really close at it, you can definitely see it. Especially on the flat parts where, like, Steelix's head is, you can see some machine markings. I decided to just leave it, because a lot of the times if you have little issues like that and you try and sand them out, in my opinion, it can look a little bit worse. So I just decided to leave it, because, you know, once this is hanging up on the wall, you're never going to notice it. But, so, yeah, I put that paint on there, and now I'm sanding it off to reveal the silhouette of Onix and Steelix. That way it stands out a little bit better. Actually, a lot better. And then this product I'm putting on is just a water-based clear coat. And I should have mentioned the black paint was just a flat black paint, but it didn't come out flat. It came out sort of more like a satin finish. I don't know if it's because I put it on really heavy, but again, it really doesn't matter because it's going to get this clear coat over it anyway. But the clear coat over the maple really makes it look really sharp. And I remember looking up what this type of maple is called. I've always heard it called sugar maple, but it almost has like the grain almost has like a 3D effect where the highlights and lowlights move as you like move the board around. Now in this little procedure I'm doing is called winging it. I didn't have any high grit sandpaper to buff out the clear coat. So I used my 120 and I used another piece of 120 and sanded them together. And then, you know, I'd do a little bit on there and then I'd sand more off of it and sand more off. Eventually just taking the grit really, really fine on the sander there. It's obviously not perfect because I can't tell what grit I'm on. I just know when it gets really fine. But it worked out. And so we're going to put this finishing paste on there. It's not really a very durable finish, but since this is like a wall piece, it doesn't matter. And it's going to make it look really nice when it's all done. So this is the second trick I pulled out of my sleeve. I just put a few shop towels down, like paper towels, and then took the sandpaper off and just stuck the pad right on there and kind of turned it into a buffing machine. And actually it turned out really nice. It worked way better than I thought it would, to be honest. Yeah, and then we're just going to blow some of the extra wax that built up inside the ledges off. And that's going to do it. I forgot to record myself putting the hanger on the back, but I'm sure you guys can imagine it. But anyway, this is the finished product. I'll be sending it off to Coop
as soon as I get the chance to. It's been in my office for a little bit now, but anyway, if you guys like what you saw, hit the like button, subscribe, come back for more. And I know it's been a while since I've uploaded, and my last video, I had a guy comment, because I had asked, you know, like, what, any ideas or something I should make, and he had suggested, like, a D&D Dungeon Master, like, screen or whatever, like a board to block everyone's view from what the DM's doing. I didn't ignore your request. I know it may seem like it, but I just haven't got around to it. My other channel's taken up a lot of time also. Shout out Item Shop Games. Switch 2 just came out, so it's a busy time. But anyway, thank you guys for coming. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks. Bye.